What's up, everyone? New night, same place, different time. We'll be on Tuesdays from now on. Splitting some things up, doing a show at a time, if you will. And it is that time, folks. It is that time. Hold on. That's right. You know what I hate? And when you expand the video so you can be in the comments, I do fear a permanent time slot. That's right.
You do.
That's right. That's right, Brad. But I appreciate you being flexible and still showing up.
He is a very flexible man. I do have to say that.
That's what I hear.
I appreciate that.
Someone told me behind Fenway Park. But
I appreciate flexibility in my men.
Nice. So, what am I saying here? We got a lot to talk about. Some new things. Did you Cyber Monday, Black Friday, Thanksgiving is behind us. Mike, did you have turkey for Thanksgiving?
I did. Who doesn't have turkey for Thanksgiving?
This guy made prime rib, F turkey and F lettuce. Would you enjoy a prime rib more or a turkey?
Turkey. It's Thanksgiving. Who doesn't want a turkey?
Wait, you like turkey better than prime rib?
Yes, on Thanksgiving.
Well, there was turkey there as well, so you had the option. I'm all about options. And I did have some turkey, and it was bought from Wegmans. And I feel like turkey needs a lot of gravy because it's dry as shit. It's dry.
I mean, it all depends on who's cooking it.
I don't know. So, interesting. So is your video lagging at all? Mine seems like it's lagging. I don't know.
Yeah, yours is. So on my end, yours is lagging, and on my end, mine is not.
Yeah, we're experimenting.
So it could be a user error.
Could be. This is what the stream looks like right now. That's how I would describe
This is the joy of broadcasting. For the people out there that are not broadcasters listening to us either on podcast or watching us on the many places we are broadcasting to, you never know what it's going to be until you go live.
Yeah, and plus, I hope people appreciate this because I think a lot of people don't. A lot of people edit podcasts, and while we do edit it somewhat at the end of the show,
there's some editing.
When you do it live, you have to have a certain ability to get away with certain things, and doing it live is much harder, actually, because mistakes can be exposed. Whereas some people do it recorded, and that's fine, but it takes more skill to do it live, in my opinion.
Well, and I think I've said this to you many times, Godfrey. Like, I equate it to watching the morning news. For anybody who watches the news every morning or every evening, if you watch it for longer than an hour, I'd have to say you're going to pick out maybe 1, 2, 3, hiccups, mistakes, technical errors, and that's on a daily basis with a corporation of that magnitude. Without the production or the budget or the backing of a corporation, that they have, we don't have that. You're always going to get that, and I do 100% give a little leeway and extra respect for those individuals that will go live, because there are some hour-long podcasts that people listen to that they would never know that person spent 4 hours recording it with mistakes and hiccups, and then an extra 3 hours editing it. So, we try to bring you the goods, one take.
One take at a time. So, with that being said, yeah, it was, it's tougher doing it live, but I enjoyed it. So, yeah, Thanksgiving was cool. Did you get any good deals on Cyber Monday?
So I didn't think that I was going to get anything, like not a goddamn thing. I used to be a Black Friday guy, Cyber Monday guy. One of my favorite things to do back in the day used to be to go to Best Buy and legitimately tailgate the Black Friday hooligans that show up there and look to get a deal. I would drink beer and then wait till the line went down and then go inside. This year I did actually get 2 deals One was signing up for an Amazon credit card because they gave you $200 if you got approved. Woohoo! I got approved, and then I got the. Why can't I think of the name of the company? The G Cloud. The G Cloud.
Hmm.
You know what the G Cloud is?
What is the G Cloud?
The Logitech G Cloud, which is a brand new, kind of similar to the Steam Deck, but not quite, device that allows you to stream your video games from your PC, from your PlayStation, from your Xbox to this device
Oh,
anywhere
okay.
anywhere you are. And I gotta say, I used it all day yesterday and all day today, and I am in love with this thing. I got it for $50 off, uh, Cyber Monday deal, and it is phenomenal. So that was my little gift to myself uh, on Cyber Monday.
Nice. Yeah, I
What
bought
about you? What'd you get?
bought lettuce. Um,
And then you effed it.
although funny thing story, I went to a hoagie place, and they're normally pretty good. I'll leave them nameless, but um, they kind of pre-made their hoagie somewhat. But I'm like, hey, I like get a hoagie. Can you put some mayo oil and vinegar on it? And I asked for tomato and onion, and it said it's on there. But she's like, oh, we put that away, but we have the salad out, and we'll put the salad stuff in there. I'm like, all right, no problem, sure. So she goes and she does. I just let her continue because I don't want to be that guy. But she grabs a handful of lettuce and puts it on my sandwich first. Now, when I wanted the mayo, I wanted it on the bread. She squirts it on top of the lettuce, and I'm like, really? Fuck. And I had to eat because I knew if I didn't eat at that point, I would get a headache. And I'm like, all right, fine. So I got it, and I was just like, man, it wasn't the worst lettuce. It wasn't the best. I would give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
It was a little crunchy.
You have an obsession with lettuce and sandwiches.
It's bullshit. Lettuce is bullshit. F lettuce, man. F turkey too.
F lettuce. And
F
Brad says
lettuce.
stop playing video games and start making TikTok videos like me. Funny you say that, Brad. You might see some TikTok videos from coming from the toxic compound very soon.
Soon
Sooner
enough.
than later.
I'll have more time. I dumped all my girlfriends.
What?
So,
Wait, I thought I was making the TikToks. You were making the content.
oh well, yeah, something like that.
I mean, hey, if you want to do the TikTok videos, if you want to do the editing,
You could do that.
I'll hand that right over to you. No, 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 no. If you
I mean,
just
you
dumped all
could.
your girlfriends and you're going balls to the wall, I don't want to
Now
interrupt your
with the
balls hitting the
content,
wall.
with the content, with the
Okay, with
content.
the content. I mean, the
Yeah.
conversation we had last time, I was going to be taking the reins, but I do not want to step on the Godfrey's toes.
No, you can have that. All right. So my Facebook video is not lagging, but I'm the restream. It's like it's doing the '80s robot dance.
So
So
right now you've gotten better, I think, uh, with you upping your camera
I downgraded it.
quality. Yeah, once you downgraded it, it got better. I think the Godfrey's internet sucks butt, and he should not
Mm,
do that.
no, I don't think so. I'm getting about 300 megabytes per second.
By the way, with the new streaming way that we're doing our streaming here, I could see that we actually have a viewer on our Toxic Radio Twitch stream. So, welcome Twitch viewers to the stream. This is the first time in a long time that we've brought the Godfrey and taken it deep to you guys, and we want to say welcome.
Yeah, I'm getting 220 megabytes per second download. So that's
Yeah, I knew you. I knew you weren't even going to pay attention to what I was saying, and you were too busy trying to freaking in my face with your internet speeds. I knew that's
yeah,
what you were doing.
yeah, man. We only run on Cat 7 over here. Cat 7. Anyway, um, yeah, we got tons to talk about. New night, we are going to start pumping out some TikToks. And there's a lot of cool stuff going on social media world. We're going to talk about our favorite boy Elon Musk because he's the gift that just keeps on giving. But I wanted to say and talk about influencers. Should they be paid? That's not the question. but should they be paid to promote something they've never used and then said they used it? Now, I guess sometimes they do that in radio with ads. So maybe it's not that bad, but I feel like as an influencer, you have a personal relationship with your audience, hence the word influencer. So this story comes from Ars Technica. Influencers were paid by Google to promote a Pixel phone they never used. The FTC says Google paid radio DJs to say they loved the Pixel 4. Google and iHeartMedia, the U.S. biggest radio station operator, are being hit with a false advertising lawsuit for ads they ran about the Pixel 4, which we found to be overpriced and full of half working experiments. Okay. The FTC in 4 states, I use Pixels, by the way, and I like them, but I didn't do it because some jerk off DJ told me to. The FTC in 4 states say the companies aired nearly 29,000 deceptive endorsements by radio personalities during 2019 and 2020, with Bureau of Consumer Protection Samuel Levin saying that Google and iHeart Media, which, they're pretty big outfit, paid influencers to promote products they never use, showing a blatant disrespect for truth in advertising rules, because there are rules. The two companies have settled the lawsuit and will be required to pay 9.4 billion. I'm sorry, million in penalties. So that was the reverse Doctor Evil. 9.4 billion. No, million. Google Google ads had on-air personalities give their first-hand accounts of how much they liked the Pixel 4, but to quote the FTC's press release, the on-air personalities were not provided with Pixel 4s before recording and airing the majority of the ads, and therefore did not own or regularly use the phones. Therefore, the first-person claims made in ads like, "It's my favorite phone camera out there, especially in low light thanks to night sight mode," which is pretty awesome. "I've been taking studio-like photos of everything, and it's also great at helping me get stuff done. Thanks to the new voice-activated Google Assistant that can blah blah blah. Fuck your ass." It seems like everything would have
Fuck your
been.
ass.
That's what was part of the ad. But it seems like everything would have been fine in these ads were weren't in first person. If they weren't in first person, Massachusetts Attorney General explains it is common sense that people put more stock in firsthand experiences, which is true. Consumers expect radio advertisements to be truthful and transparent about products, not misleading with fake endorsements. Now, I thought this was about influencers. It's more about radio, and there are a lot of rules in radio that you can't do that. Today's settlement holds Google and iHeart accountable for the deceptive ad campaign. Man, now the Google Pixel, we're on the Google Pixel 7. It's been like 3 years. Talk about hiding behind the pandemic, Jesus. But as part of the settlement, Google and iHeartMedia are barred from misrepresenting that an endorser has owned or used about their experience with certain products. Now, I always wondered, like, when you hear radio guys say, like, "Come down the Lexus so and so," or "Come to this car dealership. They treat you like family here. I drive a
Right.
Lexus." Is it true? Is it not true? Apparently, you can get in trouble for that. But, um, you know, I think that is kind of deceptive, especially from a company like Google. And it's just kind of interesting that they got tweaked for it. So you can't be doing that kind of stuff. I mean, question begs though, if you're an influencer, not a radio DJ,
Right.
and someone approaches you to represent the product, I'm going to be open to it, but I want to try the product first.
Hmm.
I think with your audience,
But
and I
that, but
guess
that, but that goes back and forth. I mean, there are some individuals who are in media and celebrities who 100% want to know that you know that the product they're putting forth they agree with, and then there's others that are just trying to get a payday. So
well, there's a difference between doing a radio spot or an ad and making it personal, saying I use it, right? I'm just talking about if I use it. Like if I say I used it. Oh, I know. If I'm reading an ad where it says certain things about it, it's highlighting features of the product, etc. That's a different story. Um,
yeah, but if you see like a buff guy or an in shape guy or an in shape girl that are doing ads for like Taco Bell or Burger King or McDonald's saying that they eat there all the time, we know that they don't.
when's the last time you seen them do a Taco Bell commercial with the fat guy?
Right.
I'll wait. Nah,
They
never.
don't. They don't have fat people in fast food ads. It's never a thing.
No, it's never a thing. Like I think for me, if I'm gonna say I used it personally, it's kind of a sacred relationship. I know Howard Stern is always like that with his audience, and he could probably get away with it. And for me, I kind of feel that way because they want to know that you're being genuine and honest. If I was an influencer, I would want to use it first. Because you know I think that's a sacred trust with your audience that you can't break, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
if they're buying into you, they're buying into your entertainment, or they like listening to you, or get through the day. We've seen people do this before. Alex Jones is known for selling fake fucking supplements, and Dr. Oz, who unsuccessfully tried to run for Senate, it was also known for that as well.
Yeah.
And and he has the doctor title behind his name. So, I mean, I feel like if you get to a certain level, like Alex Jones or Dr. Oz, and there's plenty other charlatans out there, you're taking advantage of your audience. You're using their trust for your gain. I don't know, man. I think it's kind of skeezy. If you're an influencer online, because they should do that. Like, there's a lot of guys on there. I forget his name. Who's the guy that does all the electronics reviews with the glasses and the beard on YouTube? Oh man, I forget his name.
Glasses and beard.
Yeah, I forget his name, but
I
he's a
know. I know Linus Tech Tips very well, but I don't know the other guy.
Man, I forget his name.
No,
He's pretty
got me
big.
stuck there, bro. He's
He's
pretty.
he's pretty big.
Oh,
Like, not big like that. Like,
I thought you
pretty
were saying
big.
he was pretty.
No, I mean you might. I mean, dudes with beards do look good. I mean, I have to say personally myself, but I'm looking at my subscriptions right here on YouTube. I'll be able to tell you who this guy is. I haven't listened to him forever. Unbox Therapy. That's what it is. I don't know.
Ah,
You've had to have seen that. These
yeah.
guys.
I know that guy. I know you're talking about.
Now he came clean on something. I remember. I think he kind of stole the design of someone's case and he started selling it like he designed it, and he had to come clean. But this guy kind of shows that he's played around with it. He tells you what he uses, things of that nature. Um, and this guy has, how many? 18.2 million subscribers. Jesus, this guy's raking it in, right? I mean, one can only dream, right,
That's
Mike?
a ridiculous amount. I couldn't imagine if Godfrey got to those numbers. You want to talk about it going to his head?
The world will flip upside down. Oh, it wouldn't go to my head. I would have to come into an entrance though every time like a king. I would start coming in Ric Flair's music.
Yeah. Would you? Yeah, I was gonna say you'd have your own
Start
entrance
going
music whenever you
woo.
walk. Whenever you walk into a room, your entrance music would have to play.
18.2 million. That's it's pretty impressive. But
Yeah.
um, you know that trust is sacred, right? So I think it is, and especially if people are taking your advice on certain things, especially when it comes to electronics. I don't know, man. Kind of shady, I mean, if it's like something that's a little bit less complex, like I really prefer Charmin. It's really soft on my butthole. Maybe, we'll see. We'll see. Brad said he could be bought. We knew that. Um, yeah. Smooth Dildos is looking for an influencer, Brad. I don't know if you knew that or not, but
Whoa.
whoa. So,
That's uncalled for. I'm calling HR.
right? You should call HR. Do we have an HR department?
We no
I don't know.
longer no. We had to dismantle the HR department.
Mm,
If anybody out there would like to be a part of the Toxic Radio crew and be a part of our HR department, let Godfrey know. He is holding casting calls on his couch.
yeah. So, speaking of casting calls and HR problems, yeah, you've heard of this guy from Florida, Ron DeSantis.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't really care about Florida politics. I'm not going to talk about the
Sorry.
politics here. I'm glad this subject excites you, Mike.
Dude, I'm so sorry. Usually I'm quick to get the camera off me when I do that, but that snuck up on me really fast. Yeah,
Yep,
that was a yawn. Hey, we're old men now. I mean, that's gonna happen.
true. So, DeSantis, the reason why I'm bringing him up, I just find it interesting. Um, So he blasted Apple on Tuesday for threatening to remove Twitter from its app store and for interpreting the ability or interrupting the ability of Chinese citizens to use iPhones to organize protests against. And it's just kind of like, you know, I kind of disagree with this guy. I mean, the Chinese thing we'll get into a little bit later, but there people don't realize with freedom of speech, there's a thing called freedom of association. And Apple has the freedom to pull an app from its ecosystem. There is no right for you to have your app, no matter what application you may or may not be, in their app store because that is their ecosystem that they own and operate. Am I right there, Mike?
You're 100% correct.
So there's a thing called freedom of association. So Apple or X company or Z company can say we don't want to be associated with that, and we don't want that app associated with our platform. Now, do I think they should do that? No, because I do think that people will work around it. They can log in from a browser on their phone. It's really what is that really going to do? I think it would be a stupid move, but guys like Ron DeSantis will take this opportunity to gaslight like he's defending free speech, when in actuality he likes to come out against free speech in actions that he has taken. But we won't get into that. Point of me bringing it up is, free speech. People often misunderstand it, and it's not, doesn't protect your opinion, from being heard or not heard. Okay, that's not free speech. I'm sorry, unless the government's muzzling you, which that isn't the case. Free speech only protects the government from, taking your speech away, not Twitter getting removed from the Apple App Store. So, you know, he's an overwhelmingly popular Florida governor, so they say. This is off National Review, so I kind of take this with a grain of salt. But, um, you know, they have a problem with banned accounts that Twitter is reinstating. And DeSantis says that would be a really huge mistake. And what really pissed me off about it, he said, is it would be a really raw exercise of monopolistic power that I think would merit a response from the United States Congress. It's just funny how politicians, when they get involved in, you know, antitrust and monopolies, only when it's politically expedient.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because if you really cared about monopolies and fair competition, you should have been calling Apple out like 20 years ago and other
Uh-huh.
tech companies. Get the fuck out of here with that. Here I come lately type of bullshit. Because you don't care about monopolies. You're just talking about that because it's in the political light and cultural warfare that you want to exist in. And now you're like, now I take a stand against it. Fuck you.
It's
So
it's sickening.
yeah, I mean, get out of here, man. Um, so he says reportedly Apple, he slams them for reportedly patching out airdrop in China and threatening Twitter. So he thinks that you know, that they're helping the president over there because there's a lot of lockdown protests going on in China. So DeSantis on Tuesday also condemned Apple's interference in the recent street demonstrations challenging President Xi Jinping authoritarian rule and ongoing zero COVID policy. The governor cited reports that Apple is not allowing protesters to use this airdrop function to communicate. This obviously, this is his quote. That is obviously providing and comfort to the CCP, which stands for Chinese Communist Party. He said over the weekend, protests erupt across in opposition to Chinese Communist Party leadership amidst the ongoing regime imposed COVID-19 lockdowns. The unrest was triggered after a department fire, and I'm not even going to pretend how to pronounce that city's name, but it's Uriquai, whatever. U R U.
Jamiroquai.
No, yeah, virtual reality, right? Yeah, URMQI, the capital of the far western region of Beijing, killed 10 people and injured 9. The incident triggered public outrage as it was believed that the mobility restrictions in that area either trapped the residents or slowed the dispatch of emergency services. Police attempted to crack down on the protests, forcibly clearing crowds and arresting some participants. So this zero COVID policy is draconian. It violates people's liberties, and it's completely unscientific. And the people of China are right to be able to speak out and protest against what the Chinese Communist Party is doing, DeSantis said. So, you know, um, the question is, did Apple interfere, or did they help the Chinese government? I don't know. I mean, what? Because they took out the airdrop. I
I,
mean, do they not think that the Chinese government can also access airdrop as well? You know what I mean?
it's all money and politics, and I don't know where to believe or where to put my support. It's craziness. It's billionaires fighting with billionaires,
Yeah.
or billionaires hating billionaires.
Yeah. It's bullshit. Basically, uh, come Apple limits iPhone file sharing tool used for protests in China. Company puts 10-minute cap on receiving files in AirDrop. Change is made in China, but will eventually expand globally. So, you know, they're being criticized, saying that they hurt their protesting. Um,
I don't know about you, and I don't know about our fellow not fellow because you don't own an iPhone, right? I don't know
I
about our other iPhone users out there, but I leave my AirDrop on constantly, just hoping some weirdo will AirDrop me something, and nobody ever does.
You know what's funny you say about that? Fraudsters, their highest activity is this time of year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And recently, I've gotten this bullshit email saying that I owe Norton Antivirus money,
Oh
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
and so I just reply with a "fuck you,"
Uh huh.
go fuck your mother. I hope you get chlamydia.
Mm-hmm.
Now the new one is they try to send you a file in your G drive
Oh.
that says it's naked photos and videos of someone, and I just delete it and report it
Mm-hmm.
because they want you to open it so they can just get inside your computer and fuck your world up. So I've already had my data exposed because of T-Mobile and their bullshit security and and I don't need it exposed even further. But that's a new one. They try to make it. I bet you a ton of people fall for one like, ooh, where did I get this file from? And just click on it. No,
I got one today. Just going down that road. Oh, where is it at? Here we go. From a 207 number. New sign in attempt from Dover, Delaware. Did you sign in to a new device recently? Visit, and then it gives you one of those short URLs to
uh,
click on. And I was like, yeah, no, 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 not a chance.
no,
Not
not a chance.
today, Satan.
Yeah, they're not getting me, dude. Like, but I'm pretty sure it happens a lot, so they just send a bunch of them out. But it there's various different ways and ways you communicate. But this is what Yahoo has to say about that Apple thing. Apple restricted AirDrop capabilities in China ahead of anti-government protests, leaving dissenters without key communication tool as demonstrators spread. So it sounds like they were doing it already. It was just bad timing.
Right.
Apple limited the use of AirDrop tools in China earlier this month ahead of anti-government programs. The restrictions, which limit sharing via AirDrop up to 10 minutes, are exclusive to China. I've never gotten any cool stuff sent to me on my AirDrop when I did have iPhone. Demonstrators erupted across the country this weekend in response to the strict COVID policies, right? So the changes which were first reported by 9 to 5 Mac on November 7th, included limiting the amount of time an iPhone user can use the everyone setting to receive content from anyone, both contacts and non-contacts. They're probably trying to guard against fraud. So restrictions to AirDrop were enacted exclusively in China earlier this month after it was used to share posters opposing President Xi Jinping and the Chinese government, and weeks before the wide-scale protests against the state's strict zero COVID policies. Typically, users can opt to receive AirDrop content from anyone for an unlimited period of time. The tool has been used among protesters to dismantle information about demonstrations, and it was pivotal organizing protests in Hong Kong and bypassing China's Great Firewall in 2019. Apple did not immediately respond to insiders' request to comment. Earlier this month, the company told Bloomberg it intends to roll out the setting globally to prevent unwanted file sharing. For now, changes to the feature remain exclusive to China, and some say they may be impeding mass protests that erupted across the country this weekend in response to COVID-19 measures. So, AirDrop isn't a unique technology, correct?
No, it's not a unique technology.
Um, now I understand what they're saying, and I get it, But it is a fair question because China does manufacture a lot of the iPhones and parts. I I, I don't know if that's changed a lot recently, but it's a fair question to ask. Did they do it in response to a Chinese government request? Not quite sure. But, you know, imagine an American company trying getting the police or local government asking them to do that. They'd be like, "Fuck you," right? I mean, it happened with iPhones before. FBI took Apple to court over encrypting data on iPhone, right?
Oh yeah.
So, I mean,
There was there's also a big huge thing, not even about encrypting data, but finding out that Apple slows down their phones as they get older from a software point of view. So
or how
Apple's
about
been known to do some shady shit.
this one I heard from a former Apple employee. This was actually on TikTok, so I haven't verified it, but it does sound plausible. I have to say that now because everybody wants to buy things hook, line, and sinker these days.
Uh huh.
Uh, your phone starts slowing down because of memory. Because even though you delete files, the cache really doesn't clear.
Yeah.
And for you to actually do that, you have to restore your iPhone, put all your stuff back on there, and then your cache really clears. And voila, your phone starts working. It's a known bug, but Apple has never fixed it, and it's been around for several years. That is
I don't like the way
bullshit
you
as
say
well.
cache.
Cache. Am I saying that wrong? Is it
Cache.
cache? Whatever. I like cache better. It's cool. Cache. So yeah, screw Apple, man. I mean, it's I don't know, but my point is this guy's gaslighting, right? And this brings me to, and I hate this name, but have you been? And I'm gonna talk about this barely. I hate this story, but have you been following the Kim Kardashian clothing line story where um I bet you Laura knows how to say this.
Go ahead.
It,
You take a shot at it.
oh man, this is rough, but
Come on. Come on. Just let it slither off your tongue.
yeah, Alakazencia. That's not even sure.
What's was that? Was that a Harry Potter spell you just put on me? What was
Yeah,
that?
you're gonna now get warned. It's Bala Insagnia. Oh man, I can't say it right, but
Bala Isagnia?
we're gonna put it out here. I'm gonna show it to you. You see if you can get this one right, Mike. I'm telling you, this is a rough one. And I bet you it's easy as shit. But it's there is so they did a photo shoot, right?
Uh huh.
And it was they had bears in bondage with little kids. The little kids weren't wearing bondage stuff, but it was in very bad taste. And now they're suing the photograph company, but that morphed into uh oh, that's the pedophile ring everyone's talking about because someone doctored the photos to show like a court document involving some court and child pornography, and that was
All
also
right.
inexplicably in the background. uh and the problem with that is that when people hear that stuff in general, they'll just buy a whole story. Like, oh, that's true. It must be true. It's true, and it's partially true. Uh, but people don't look at the details. You know what I mean? That's the problem. So I sent you that search, Mike.
But are you talking about
Valencia,
Balenciaga? Balenciaga.
Balenciaga. There we go.
Balenciaga.
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 So, uh, people are on the Kardashians because it's a line that they're involved in, and they've responded. Fans asked Kim Kardashian to denounce Balenciaga. Um, and now they're accusing Kylie Jenner. I can't believe I'm talking about the Kardashians of using her baby son as a distraction after she posted rare photos amid Kim Kardashian's Balenciaga backlash. So here's the thing. This story took on so many knowledge branches, but I'm just using this as an example as how, people will jump on anything. And I was, so this person told me about it, and their source was someone from TikTok. That's why I say sometimes when I look at stuff at TikTok, I'm like, I haven't verified it yet because sometimes you haven't. And the story says that, and you look at the pictures, they were done in poor taste. Um, then it said then it became it's a child pornography clothes store. And where I when I hear something, this person goes to me, they're like, they're opening a kids BDMS store in King of Prussia. I'm like, what? That doesn't sound right. They wouldn't let that open in the mall. And they weren't opening a store like that, right? It was a photo op or a photo shoot that was done in bad taste, not good. And now it turned into they're opening up stores in certain malls and people are running with it. And then they got the photos that were already bad taste and people edited them, put them out there and doctored them and put stuff in the photos. And then you're just going crazy with it.
I think I
So
have the photos up here,
yeah,
and I
it's a,
mean, I could see why somebody might be upset. But at the same token, there's nothing horribly wrong.
it was done
I
in
don't
bad
know.
taste.
The bad taste with the actual teddy bears and the outfits they have on. Sure, I don't
Yeah.
know.
But the doctor photos, and the photographer said some of those photos I didn't have that in there. So what makes me think is so one of the photos it had a documents from a child pornography court case in there, like
What?
right, but it was doctored, it was put in there.
Oh,
So to me, when someone tells me that, that doesn't sound right. Like they're just gonna be like, oh, we're just gonna put this right here in the photo shoot.
yeah,
Let's
it's
be
that's
super
just
obvious
company.
about it.
That's real company suicide.
Yeah, and they're suing the photographer and I guess the creative group for 25 million now.
I don't know. That is a weird one.
It is weird.
I understand, but at the same token, I'm like that when you were describing it and how you were reading that article, it sounded like it was way worse. Like so again, that's what I like about this show is taking the time to research, to look it up, to see what it is. There's individuals that we've talked about it many times where they see a headline and they barely read the article and they
Right.
create their own opinion about it and then start regurgitating their their made up opinion about this article they found without ever looking you know deeper into it.
It's almost like they get a grab bag of puzzle pieces, and the grab bag doesn't necessarily have all the puzzle pieces to it,
right,
but it's part of
exactly.
one puzzle.
I'm,
So,
I,
and people are going off of incomplete puzzles a lot of times because they're grabbing bits and pieces of information from these flash, instant gratification, short sources, right?
right.
TikTok, and I like TikTok. Don't get me wrong; we talk about it all the time here. Um,
Uh-huh.
and but you still have to say to yourself sometimes when something sounds off, you should question it. And this person goes to me, he's like, "Why do you always question stuff I bring up?" And I'm like, "I'm not questioning you. I'm questioning information." And I always, when someone takes it personal, and then I'm like, "Well, why are you taking it so personal?" You know what I mean? Is it about finding the truth or you being right? I don't know. So who knows? But
And the person who's looking at this and making these uh these opinions about it, that's their own per their own um what am I trying to say? Their own opinion about what the attire of these bears are wearing. They're saying that they're bondage. They're saying that they're this or that or sexual. In reality, these could be just goth teddy bears dressed in goth clothing, which when you put it that way doesn't make it that bad. Now I agree these are teddy bears that probably you wouldn't buy for your little girl. I wouldn't buy one for my little girl, but I don't know if that was the message to be relayed with this. I
yeah,
don't know. Like I said, the one girl, she's holding one with it's got a fishnet shirt, it's got a chain necklace, it's got straps on its wrist, which could just be again a whole gothic thing with long black hair. The other one's got this like weird, I don't know how to say what they're wearing, but a choker around the neck. Again, could be construed that way, but I just don't know. It is very artsy though. So
right.
somebody trying to be extra artsy with this, and trying to trying to speak through their photographs is what it says to me.
Yeah, I mean, they issued an apology after a furious reaction to ad campaigns. You know, it's to me, it's kind of fascinating. No one wants to see kids get hurt, right?
Nobody.
And
Well,
so I feel like,
most people.
right, most people, except the people that want to do the harm,
Right.
and that's what I was saying to certain people. I talked about this, and I feel like content creators and people that talk about these stories, whether on purpose or not, seize upon that fervor and that united. We don't want that to happen, and you know, it's just crazy. So I was reading the New York Times when high fashion and QAnon collide, and that's exactly what happened here.
Hmm. You know
Two.
what that whole thing. I'm sorry to interrupt. You know what that whole thing makes me think of? A
Mhm.
workplace environment where individuals at the drop of a hat will go to HR about some saying on a shirt or something being too revealing or something that they find offensive. That's kind of what that reminds me of.
Yeah. So yeah, and wait, say the last part again. The last sentence you just said.
Like
Kind of.
somebody at a corporation, somebody who gets offended by something you wear, a saying. Somebody gets offended by your hat because it says "thinking, please wait," and they say, "Well, that's offensive to people that have to think hard." Something like saying that something you're wearing is too revealing, your shorts are too short, or it's one of those things where you go, okay, I can see where you're coming from, but that wasn't the point of what that is. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna read this right now, and because so people have some clarity on the story, right? They don't know about it. This is from the New York Times. Uh, so it says when high fashion and QAnon collide, two new Balenciaga campaigns ignited a firestorm that traveled from the internet to Fox News, fueled by allegations that the brand condoned child exploitation. So, um, ever since Dem uh, Demna became artist director at Balenciaga in 2015, the storied brand has become a lightning rod for controversy, often intentionally. Uh, Remaking IKEA's 99-cent shopping bag as a luxury good, putting heels on Crocs, selling destroyed sneakers for 1,800, dressing Kim Kardashian in head-to-toe black body stocking for the Met Gala, and sending models who look like refugees down the runway carrying trash bags made of expensive leather. The outrage provoked such moments often seem to be the whole point. Each only bolstered the reputation of Denla's Balenciaga as a brand that forces consumers to grapple with the very meaning of taste. Now, however, the release of two new campaigns, which is one we just talked about by Balenciaga, which is owned by Kering, the French luxury conglomerate that also owns brands like Gucci and Saint Laurent, has taken the public opprobrium to a new level. One campaign featured photos of children clutching handbags that look like teddy bears and bondage gear. Another campaign featured photos that included paperwork about child pornography laws. Together, they ignited a firestorm that traveled the internet to Fox News, fueled by allegations that Balenciaga condoned child exploitation. The controversy has become one of the most explicit collisions on the internet culture, politics, fashion, and conspiracy theories to date. Now, this article is dated um, November 28th, which is yesterday, right? Uh, on November 28th, almost 2 weeks after the storm started brewing, and after a series of Instagram apologies that failed to quell it, the brand issued a statement admitting a series of grievous errors for which Balenciaga takes responsibility. The fashion house announced ongoing internal and external investigations and new controls and said it was reaching out to organizations who specialize in child protection and aim at ending child abuse and exploitation. We want to learn from our mistakes and identify ways we can contribute, the statement read. What happened first? So the fallout began on the 16th when Balenciaga published a campaign called Balenciaga Gift Shop. It was a shot last month by Gabriel Galimberti, an Italian documentary photographer whose work focuses on stories our things tell about ourselves. Mr. Gallimberti had previously made a book featuring images of children with their toys, but had never shot a fashion campaign before. His photographs feature six children clutching destroyed teddy bear handbags, which have first been seen in the brand's spring 2023 runway show in Paris. The fluffy bears had black eyes, fishnet tops, and leather harnesses. Wine glasses and other gift items were displayed around them. According to Mr. Gallimberti, the objects, as well as the children and the location chosen for the shoot, had all been selected by Balenciaga, with numerous staff members present during the 2 days of photography. Not long after the gift shop campaign was posted online, a groundswell of outrage began. The images that juxtaposed children and what looked like bondage paraphernalia. 5 days later, on November 21st, Balenciaga released a separate campaign, the brand's 2023 Grade Robe advertising campaign. Social media users zoomed in on images from the campaign that appeared to feature as a prop paperwork from a Supreme Court decision on child pornography laws. Wait, there were two different ad campaigns. Yes, the Grade Robe campaign, which included Nicole Kidman, Isabel Huppert, and Bella Hadid as models, was shot in July, months before the gift shop campaign, and took place in an office setting. Looks in the campaign were introduced in a May 2020 show at the New York Stock Exchange. In one of its images, a $3,000 Balenciaga X Adidas Hourglass handbag was featured on a desk along with printed copies of Supreme Court's 2008 decision, U.S. v. Williams. The case examined whether laws banning the pandering, promoting of child pornography curtail First Amendment freedom of speech rights. That's right. They actually had to ask that question. So, other props in the Grade Robe campaign included the books, The Creamster Cycle by Matthew Barney, which appeared in conjunction with an exhibit of the artist in the Guggenheim Museum as sweet as it gets by the Belgian painter Michael Baronimus, whose work has been shown at the David Swinner Gallery. Follow me, guys. Here, I know these names are crazy, but I'm tackling them one by damn one. The gallery has described Mr. Barberman's paintings as toddlers engage in playful but mysterious acts with sinister overtones and insinuations of violence. So, some critiques have included images from both campaigns in a way that suggests that there are one and the same. One Twitter user shared photos from two shoots, wrote, the brand guy did an interesting photo shoot for their new products recently, which included very purposely poorly hidden court document about virtual child porn, normal stuff. That tweet, among other posts, prompted accusations that Balenciaga was promoting a child pornography campaign and glamorizing violence against children. The internet is full of trolls. Why did this controversy take off? It is full of trolls, right, Mike?
Oh,
They just live for that shit. So,
trolls.
as online criticism of the campaign spread, the story was picked up across right-leaning media outlets, including the New York Post and the prime time Fox News show, which QAnon, I'm sorry, if you can't handle this reality, you listen to the show, QAnon mostly lives on the right these days. Tucker Carlson tonight. The show has helped to publicize and mainstream QAnon, the internet conspiracy theory that a group of Satan worshiping elites who run a child sex ring are trying to control our politics and media. That's at the heart of it right there, right? There's Occam's razor where people have this. I'm going to try to explain Occam's razor in layman terms. People have this theory of what happens, or conspiracy theory, and there's one leg of it that's proven, and they're like, that makes everything else true. That's not how it works. And people often do that. And I saw that happening with this. That's why I said some of it was partially true, not entirely true, right? Here you have a major international retail brand promoting kiddie porn and sex with children, Mr. Carlson told viewers on November 22nd. Tucker Carlson, fuckface. And not promoting it subtly, but right out in the open. Okay. How did Balenciaga respond? The brand's first responses to the Black Hush came on November 24th when it apologized for the gift shop campaign and promised to remove the advertisement. So I'm going with you more and more, Mike, as I read this. Like, was it in bad taste, the bear? Yeah. But is it what people are trying to make it into? I'm not so sure, right? It kind of seems like it was painted into that light and it was enhanced, so to speak, right? It evolved.
It's kind of like when you look at oh Jesus Christ, what are those ink blot things that a psychiatrist tells you to look at, or like a cloud. You
It's not
know,
a schooner; it's a sailboat.
you look, yeah, you look at a cloud or one of those little ink drop things, and if you tell somebody, "Oh, I see this in that picture," then their brain automatically sees that and doesn't see
Right.
anything else. It's like one of those type of things. Once somebody says something, you can't unsee it, kind of thing.
So, how did Balenciaga respond? The brand's first response to backlash came on the 24th when I said, and when it apologized for the gift shop campaign and promised to remove the advertisements from its social media channels. Now, I'm not saying I like that ad. I'm not saying they're great. I'm not saying they're not wrong, but it could be the most righteous ad campaign, whatever, whatsoever. And if they get a lot of backlash, they're removing it either way, right?
Uh huh.
So that's just how it works. That's we often see companies apologize. I don't know if that's the case here for things that they probably really shouldn't, but they wanted to go away. So
Things that had no intent or
right,
no real malice behind it,
yeah,
but somebody saw it a certain way, and once it gets out into the interwebs, all of a sudden the narrative takes over. And when the narrative takes over that somebody else has created, it doesn't matter what reality was or what actually happened. That narrative is now the reality in people's minds, and now you've got to come out and apologize for it. It's ridiculous.
yeah. And uh, so there is. Let me continue on. And I'll just there's an overarching point here, but they said they would sincerely apologize for any offense our holiday campaign may have caused. Our plush berry bag should have not been featured with children in this campaign. We have immediately removed the campaign from all platforms. So, hours later, a second apology addressing the grade robe campaign was posted to the brand's Instagram stories. Now, isn't it funny, Mike? So the one side that complains about cancel culture seems to want to employ it when it is right for them. And I'm not
Well,
saying, and now they're like, oh, cancel them. So, I, again, I'm not defending their actions. I think it was in poor taste, but
right.
I don't think it's an underground sex pornography ring, but uh, I'm sorry, child porn ring. That because no one's for that unless you're a
Mm-hmm.
monster, right? I mean, obviously there's the bad perpetrators, but we apologize for displaying unsettlement documents in our campaign. The statement said, "We take this matter very seriously and are taking legal action." Now, on Instagram, the photographer said those documents weren't in his original photos, so I'm a little confused here, but that's where I think the lawsuit's coming in, right?
Right.
We take this matter very seriously and are taking legal action against the parties responsible for creating the set and including unapproved items for our spring 2023 campaign photo shoot. We strongly condemn the abuse of children in any form and would stand for children's safety and well being. On November 25th, Balenciaga filed papers in New York court and initiating a $25 million lawsuit against the production company North Six and Nicholas Desjardins, who designed the set for the Grade Rope campaign. North Six had produced previous Balenciaga campaigns. Other clients include Dior, Zara. According to its website, Mr. Dan's recent work includes Disco Horse from the cover of Beyonce's Renaissance. The document, a summons with notice, alleged that the production company and set designer engaged in inexplicable acts and omissions that were malevolent or, at the very least, extraordinarily reckless. Effectively, the brand claimed that the documents were placed in the campaign photographs without their knowledge and had led to false associations between Balenciaga and child pornography. When contacted by the New York Times, North Six, which manages production details like catering, permits, and crew, declined to comment. I'm battling a cold, man, so reading is like tickling my throat. It's so annoying. So, so where did a copy of the Supreme Court decision come from? Who approved its use as a prop? Which is a very important thing, right? The documents came from numerous boxes rented from a prop house. A lawyer for Mr. Desjardins, the set designer, wrote in an email statement. See, this is where good journalism comes into play, folks. Uh, but all were supposed to be fake office documents, Balenciaga said in its November 28th statement. They turned out to be real legal papers, most likely coming from the filming of a television drama. Balenciaga, which had the images in hand for months before the release, called the inclusion of the Supreme Court page unapproved and the result of reckless negligence. Mr. Desjardins' lawyer in a statement said certainly that there certainly was no malevolent scheme going on. Balenciaga representatives were on set during the shoot, overseeing it and handling papers and other props. And Desjardins, as a set designer, was not responsible for image selection from the shoot. She wrote her client. She also reiterated had no involvement in other gift shop campaign. In the other gift shop campaign, pretty damning statement right there. Because he's like, well, how come you're having this issue with another shoot? Ultimately, image selection would have fallen to the brand, which in its November 28th statement said that it took full accountability for our lack of oversight and control and could have done things differently. Is Balenciaga also suing the photographer of the gift shop campaign? No, Mr. Gallimberti had nothing to do with Great Rope campaign. He also did not make the decision to feature children with bear bags in the gift shop campaign. He said that Balenciaga had told him the theme of the shoot was punk. Now, that's the guy that I read his Instagram post from.
Gotcha.
Balenciaga. So he's saying, he didn't know about that. And Balenciaga, in its November 28th statement, said our plush bear bags and the gift collection should not have been featured with children. This was a wrong choice by Balenciaga, combined with our failure in assessing and validating images. The responsibility for the lies with Balenciaga alone lies, not lies. In other words, don't blame the photographer, but the nuance was lost amid the heat of the reaction. Since the gift shop campaign images were released, Mr. Gallimberti said he has been inundated with hate mail. And this is his statement that I'm about to read off of Instagram. And death threats, has had jobs canceled, and had his personal details, including his phone number, published online. At the moment, nobody wants to be associated with my name because my name is associated with the word pedophilia everywhere, Mr. Gallimberti said. I've been working on my personal projects for 25 years, and then everything is destroyed by this campaign. I'm not sleeping well. My family's completely worried. What happens next? The long-term repercussions remain to be seen. Already, the trade publication Business of Fashion on November 20th revoked an award it had planned to give them. And saying it held the safety of children in the highest regard in the United States, home to the world's largest luxury market. Uh, the reputational damage from the continuing firestorm could be seismic for Balenciaga and a brand more used to being lauded for its ability to tap into cultural moment than extricated for its missteps. So I think they were I think they had an Opie and Anthony moment here. What do you think?
Yes. That's a perfect way to describe it.
Yeah. So they thought Opie and Anthony, what did they do? They had I guess like they they went into a synagogue dressed as a Nazi. Was that
What? What
no,
the?
was
What the? Who are you?
oh that was Tom Green. That
That
was
was
Tom
no.
Green.
This was Sex for Sam, where they had
Right.
listeners have sex in St. Patrick's
All
Cathedral.
right. Yeah, that was Tom Green. That's what got Tom Green. He was done. I
Yeah.
think Tom Green did that. That was
Yeah.
sorry. Same premise, right? So although Carrick doesn't break down the annual revenue for Balenciaga, HSBC estimates that the fashion house generated about 1.76 billion euros or 1.81 billion in sales in 2021. As of Monday, there were no plush bondage bear handbags for sale on Balenciaga's website. I think they were trying to, you know, so their reputation is for pushing the boundaries, and
Right.
someone wasn't able to get the leadership to say this might push the boundaries too far. And I think that was a big misstep. Do I think this is a pedophilia ring, part of the bigger picture? No, but that's where this went crazy because people think that it's out there. Um, conspiracy theories often annoy me for a very big reason. Um, you know, I've seen actual sex trafficking stuff
Whoa.
happening on, the news where they're talking about,
Oh, on the news.
yeah, yeah, not in person. On the
I
news,
thought you're like,
like
yeah,
I'll
that
give
was
you
your
one
side
headline.
gig.
Cops covered up sex trafficking ring to receive free sex acts, lawsuit says. This is in Fairfax County, Virginia.
Right.
This is in 2021. So this stuff that people claim to have their ire over, that now, and not to say people should never be upset about it or shouldn't be going after things like that. Please do. I mean, if you could help harm, coming to children anyway, do that. That's a positive thing. But people never talk about the real things that happen, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, and that's what blows my mind because You know, it like people want to talk about Epstein. That was going on for a long time, man.
Very
And
long
you didn't
time.
know about it. You didn't know about it till 2 years ago, probably. And
Very
it's
long
probably going
time.
on for 2 decades. You had
Mm-hmm.
two former presidents that were hanging out with him, Clinton and Trump. Sorry, Trumpsters. You know that's another funny thing too. A lot of QAnon people are Trump supporters, and they never want to acknowledge that Jeffrey Epstein introduced him to Melania.
Yep.
They have pictures of it. They never want to acknowledge that. They conveniently leave that out, right? And if wrong is wrong, then you got to acknowledge that too. Bill's a pervert, and we probably also know that Donald is too. Pretty safe bet, I would say. I bet
Pretty
my left
safe
nut
bet.
on it. Yeah. So,
You heard it here, folks. He's putting his left nut on it.
yep, I'm betting it. But speaking of nuts, and we'll end with this, a little more upbeat. I know this might have got too serious for some. What's the
Yeah.
best design for a splash for urinal? I mean, physics. It's all about physics, right? And physics
Yeah.
has the answer.
Okay.
Have you ever been to a urinal where you're like, man, I really don't like that?
No.
So you've never seen it. So have you ever had to take a piss in a trough?
Yes.
So you're okay with the trough? I'm not okay with the
Yeah.
trough.
Why am I? Why would I not be okay with a trough? What are you,
I,
fucking bathroom diva?
no, am I a bathroom diva? Maybe I don't want some other man's splash or piss splashing on me.
Why is this piss splashing on you? What is he
So
waving it around? How
I,
close are you to the guy? What are you doing? I
obviously,
think this is a you problem.
my friend, you have never been to a sporting event where they've had a trough before, and you've seen guys that have been drinking for the past 4 hours take a piss.
This is a you problem.
Oh, it is not. If you go to some older stadiums, it's so. Have you ever seen? And like they were old school sinks where they're like circular and people press down on it and the water comes out. Like they were in old schools.
Yeah.
There. Well, some people had those as bathrooms, as taking piss. Like you take a piss in those. I just sent you a link, and
Oh boy.
I think some of these urinals, man, are not signs. Like look at this one in the middle. Like it's almost like it's an obstacle course to take a pee. You see that one?
Oh, the one in the middle up here.
Yeah. I
This
mean,
one.
what the? Yep. Like what is that? Like that it almost looks like
I've never. So these two I've seen. I've never seen these last three ever in my life. Come on.
uh might be in
To reduce
Valencia.
splash.
Might
How
be in
much? What kind of how bad is your pee propelling out of your body, and where are you aiming it that it's splashing all over you?
you might have a little fire hose. You might not have
Yeah,
that
yeah. Aim
problem.
it down towards the hole.
Well, listen.
You don't go straight.
Uh I know where that I've seen these urinals. They were in the Balenciaga restroom.
Oh Jesus Christ! It all gets brought back around.
Yep, they're in the Balenciaga
Ties it all
restroom.
together.
Yep. Of course, my sound
There you
effect
have it,
machine.
folks.
Did you hear the drum thing? The joke
Yeah, it was
drum?
horrible. I was trying not to acknowledge it. I was just gonna let it go past. There, I heard that one.
Yeah,
There.
the fucking machine turned off. Fuck this thing. I'm gonna pee on this. Anyway, so scientists
All
at the
right.
University of Waterloo have determined the optimal design for a splash-free urinal: a tall, slender porcelain structure with curves reminiscent of uh, a shell, playfully dubbed the Naughty Loo.
The
That's good
naughty
news from
low.
tired of having urine splash on their pants and shoes, and for the poor souls who have to regularly clean up all the splatter.
The
It's
naughty
quite
low.
an aesthetically appealing design. So I'm gonna say the one from the left, second from the left, is the best one. The square one. That's the best one. Gives you a little bit of
I I
privacy.
I miss the days of the elementary school ones that went all the way down to the floor.
I was just gonna really. I mean, you gotta hug you weren't a urinal hugger. You gotta hug it.
I'm not a urinal hugger,
So you're just gonna stand back with your pants on the ground.
and I'm not going to be the one who is ashamed to stand next to somebody in the urinal. Just because there's 4 or 5 urinals there and you're
Oh
at one
no!
of them doesn't mean I won't stand next to you.
Listen, I will stand next to the urinal. I'll go there. I mean, I think as a kid, people are weird about that, but I'll go there. See, but you probably had friends that would do shit like, pull you out of the urinal and spin you around. Have you ever
Oh,
had that?
I mean,
I've
I
met some of your friends. I think they would do that.
I've been known to check a pecker every now and then.
Oh my god!
And on that
If
note,
someone does that to me, they're getting punched in the dick, right in the dick. Yeah, I mean, there's some science behind this, though, man. Don't sleep on the urinal. I have a buddy of mine that has a man cave and he has a urinal in it. I think that would be a man's dream to have a urinal in the house. What do you think?
yeah,
Yeah, urinal in the house be awesome.
be
That
badass.
would be that would be a messed up joke to play on your girl.
Oh yeah,
Like get a urinal put in the main bathroom.
uh huh.
She
That'd be
like
badass.
she would be pissed.
That'd be awesome. I love it. Let's make it happen.
Oh man. Yeah. I don't know. All I know is there's certain protocols and you look straight ahead, no eye contact, and no looking down to the right or left.
There you go. This has been your guide for peeing with the
Yeah, I
Godfrey.
mean, are you okay with that protocol, Mike? That makes sense, right?
Yeah,
All right, just making sure you're not a glancer. That was a test. You passed.
thank you.
But yeah, man, that was it pretty much. We went from serious to pee, and that's how we rock here.
It is.
Oh, wait, hold on, one more thing. Do you think it's healthy to work 72 hours a week
Fuck no, but it's a lot of money.
if your salary it's not?
Well, if your salary, it's not. If your salary, you're stupid. Knock that shit off.
Well, yep. A Twitter executive said she's been working more than 75 hours a week since Elon Musk has been the boss there.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, I would not work 75 hours a week. That's bullshit.
Nah.
Dude,
Life work balance, bro.
how do you how do you expect quality work out of someone though when
Life
they
life work
like,
balance.
like
But
how do you
that
expect quality of work? Like I can see like I don't know, man, like that's almost like you're taking the love out of it for someone
mm-hmm.
that might actually love that job and now they hate it,
Yep.
right? I mean, that's just nuts to me.
Yep.
I wonder what kind of urinals they have at Twitter.
Jesus Christ. This is where the show has jumped the shark. What
Do you
kind of
think?
urinals do they have at Twitter?
Do you think my question is,
Yeah,
did they have
please,
blue?
you do some investigative reporting and please find that out for us for the next
Yeah,
episode.
do they have like urinal pucks in the shape of blue check marks?
I hope they do. I
That
really
would
do.
that would be awesome.
And I hope
Uh,
that Elon has fucked with them in some way, shape, or form.
that would, I mean, I would appreciate that humor even if I worked there. Yeah, I mean, if I was someone who worked there and I needed to stay at that job for financial reasons and I felt trapped, I would start playing practical jokes on my bosses.
Yeah.
I would start, you know, drop shipping dicks by mail shipments, exploding dick penises, stuff like that. Uh, Glitter bombs, where it's just sand bombs, all kinds of crazy crap. So, anyway, wow, this tickle will not go away. With that being said, folks, we've been all over the place tonight. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for spitting in time's face. And this is Z Godfrey, not saying goodbye, just saying take a deep. Take a deep.